Good evening, one and all. I'm a random dude on the internet with the new Tactile Turn Maverick. This is the Rich Light micarta. Bit of an unboxing. Comes with a nice sleeve with the card. Thank you, Seth, for putting this one together. Oh wait, I just realized. My card is mislabeled. It says the scales are tie. This is not the titanium scaled one. This is the Rich Light micarta. In all of its glory. I apologize for the really crappy lighting and iPhone quality, but information. I was number 40 on the wait list for this Magna Cut knife. Also came with a sticker. Might email them about this. This is not the titanium one, or maybe I bought the Rich Light one, so we're good. But yeah, it's kind of overall nice stonewash on the clip. Nice machining. This is not like a proper review. I got this out of the mail a few minutes ago. Lighting is gonna be crappy, and we're gonna deal with it. The texture is really nice. It's subtle, but it's enough. The action is a little peeny. I don't know if you can hear it. Kind of has a nice little tick to it. And you kind of have to, it's smoothed out even a little bit since I've had it out of the box. It's not it'll drop pretty well. But it drops pretty well because, I don't know if it's very visible. But it is quite a bit side-to-side play. And the big complaint I've heard of people on the interwebs is up and down play. It's a bit of a rock. It's actually a little bit less, I think, than it was earlier. Bit of up, but quite a bit of side to side. But next to some other knives. This is a 940, and just even compared to that, this 940 has a little bit of rock. I have another 940 with quite a bit more rock too. I actually just tightened up. This has a little bit of side to side, but it doesn't even drop, so there's that. But side by side, this is what you're looking at. Really crappy camera work. This the Maverick feels significantly slimmer than the 940. But right next to each other, they're pretty similar overall in handle length and blade length. If you're 940, then you're pretty similar. Also, just lengthwise, fairly. Let me get better on this. I apologize if anyone actually watches this. If anyone actually will. Length to the Shama, but not really in blade length. Maybe. Pretty close. The Shaman's much thicker. I don't have a PM2. I have a Caribbean, which is pretty similar. And fairly PM2-esque length of blade. With the Choi would kind of knock that down, and the Caribbean's a little bit longer. Definitely bigger than a pair 3. Just longer overall, leaner. I forgot, this is a Richard Rogers design. Again, not a bug out, but a Deca. I have a CRKT CEO. It's also a Rogers design. This would be your bug out analog Hoke Deca. The only other knife in Magna Cut. These are pretty similar. If you're in the slim knife game, this is the TRM Neutron. This would be, I don't have an atom, I would assume, this is basically, seems like to me, without having handled an atom, but having this Neutron, to like a atom with an axis lock. It's pretty cool, and Magna Cut. And if you think of it in that, I guess the price of $250, not too bad. This is Sabenza 21. very similar in size to the Sebenza 21. And length, even kind of blade shape a little bit. These are both pretty generic knives. But the Maverick is substantially slimmer. The texturing is nice. The smaller end, against a banter. Quite a bit bigger in a banter. It's carrying the big banter today. And also, against the big banter, it's pretty comparable in size again. More on the blade length because of that choil. And the big banter against thicker. But yeah, just kind of handling it overall. It's very thin. And another thing people have mentioned is the flex of this rich light. Let me try to hold that where you can see it. It does have quite a bit of flex. And I'm trying to see that better. It's not terrible. I mean, the big banter has flex too. Not too bad, especially right here under that lock side. So if I'm squeezing it, I feel the big banter moves in my hand when I squeeze it. I'm cutting down on like thick cardboard. It's the same experience, a little worse on the Maverick with the rich light. That's not awesome. It kind of pinches, honestly. It's not like a hard edge. But this has full liners. Interesting. I heard they weren't full liners though. Interesting. Well, again, this has pretty significant side-to-side play. A tick of up and down. I think use might clear that out. Very thin. Just checking the tip is not burnt. Which can be a thing. My Deca was. Even edges, a little bit off on the side, on the heel of that choil. Let's see, check our sharpness. Out of the box here we have, empty thing. This is catalog paper. Ooh, it's very nice. Hiccup, that was me. Really nice. Got a good edge to it. One nice thing is something I've had with Benchmades. There's no lock stick. You pop it out and it just drops. Can't quite get the spidey flex. I'm going to. You notice I have the tool burrito from NAFS, and I think I'm just gonna pop this thing apart. I've heard it's all T8. We got a little weehaw bit here. We'll see what we can do. Again, this is pretty crummy angle-wise, but we'll get a few things out while we're thinking. Break her down, clean it out a little bit. Maybe we can get that action to be a little bit better. I didn't realize it was full liners, but we will see. Everything appears to be T8. Really quick thinking. People have kind of complained. I don't really like how that clip looks, but I don't feel it in my hand. The flex of that is slight. It's not like enough to put it together, but it's a lot more than I'd like it to be. This is my first experience with Richlight too. It feels G10-y, but it's milled wonderfully. I do kind of wish, you can tell right there, brand crummy iPhone camera, the machining lines follow along the pivot, and it's sculpted and rounded, which is really nice for a thinner knife, not too blocky. Let's pop this thing apart though. Let's, I don't pretend to be any kind of Nick Shabazz. We'll just go for it. You see what you do. The screw comes out easy. And a little bit of Loctite, respectable amount. And that screw is very magnetic. Oh, fairly magnetic. Is it magnetic? No, I don't think it is. It might be a tie screw. I think it probably says titanium hardware on there. It's not too overly Loctited. I have no idea what this does to your warranty or not. I couldn't find the information when I looked, so. And we're gonna take off this one. Hey, even the pocket clip is T8, that's nice. And everything was centered, by the way. I don't know if I showed that, but it still is. Everything is very well right down the middle, which is nice. The pivot collars are wonderful. I kind of wish on the titanium one they had the blue accents on the pivot collars and the standoffs. I kind of wish they kept the blue on the Richlight one as well. That's what you get for being cheap, though. Not getting the schmancy Galansky one, but take this other clip off here. Okay, screw off to get the clip off. I'll take it all down, why not? Hopefully this doesn't turn into a nightmare, because Axis style locks sometimes can go into extra innings. They're usually not terrible though. Okay, that's every screw out. Huh. Still holding together pretty well, like the knife still functions. That's cool. So tight, it's put together tightly, which is good. Let's go work this apart. Let's poke our pivot out, why don't we? See if we can. Not do that, alright. We're kind of loose, don't want to cut myself, the blade is good and sharp. Do as I say, don't as I do, kids. If you're still watching, thank you. When I got this on pre-order, I was, I don't have aspirations to build a following, but, you know, whenever I'm looking for a knife, I'm always looking for videos. So I might as well be one of those guys that's got the crummy homemade video with information you might be able to glean where you look at it and it's like, wow, this guy's an idiot, but you can at least see what he's doing and learn what not to do. All right, this show side is up. Is that screwed in? Oh, interesting. So these standoffs right here, at least this one, this upper one, appears to be actually screwed into the liner itself. Huh. That's cool. Let's knock this standoff out in the back here. That's a tie standoff, non-magnetic. We'll just assume it's tie. Both of those are interesting. Okay. I'm off track, and I'm making a long video that people on the internet are gonna mock, but it's fine. Let's see if we can't. Well, let's see if we can't. Pop our pivot out. Get all of our screws are out, so we're not really. There we go. There's our pivot. Good tight fit. A little bit of Loctite gunk and junk. Not bad. Again, it's tie. Oh man, they have the nice like Chris Reeve style washers in there. Which Chris Reeve is always quick to claim helps with lubricity. All those extra surfaces. All right, there we go. It's full liners and beautifully milled in. That's pretty. Ooh, that's interesting. You can notice. I don't know whether we can pick that up or not. Try the YouTuber thing. So there's a second hole right there. The Omega spring's on the bar and in a set hole, but there's another hole. It's on both liners. It looks like you can set that spring to a tighter tension. I think when I put this together, I'll do that. Because a lot of people complain, and I even noticed this then, you were there for it. It seems to be lubricated with a grease of some kind. Pretty pasty stuff. I'll clean that out. It's pretty clean inside. Except for that grease stuff. That's interesting on that, it's kind of like the Kaiser, the Drop Bear, and the Escort. They're newer, the clutch lock knives, where they have multiple holes. There's one other, you can increase that tension of that spring. It looks to be, Not really any thicker than like the Benchmade springs are. I'm not going to be able to take the whole thing all the way apart, I don't think. Well, maybe. I don't know how these standoffs are held on. These appear to be screwed on going through, but I can't, well machined on these liners too, no scratches or scuffs or anything. Let me, stop pin is, let's see, these liners are steel. Snapped right onto my magnet here, on this. How are we going to, well, we'll pull, well, I can't really do that, can we? Thank you for being here for my muttering. You don't owe me anything. Well, I owe you a lot for taking the time to watch me muddle through it, at least 15 minutes worth. I guess we're kind of at a standoff. We have our scale off. We still have a washer in there. Let's pop him out. We'll at least do the cleaning. The washer's the same on either side, seems like. We'll at least clean out what's in there. I want to kind of get it all the way apart, all of the parts, sort of a thing. I don't think I can, though, because I don't know how to get these to the clip standoffs. Which is interesting. A lot of people are kind of complaining about how it's an ambidextrous lock without an ambidextrous clip. Well, the clip's set in like that, no wonder. Are those keyed? Those are keyed to a pretty large hex, looks like. Hex bit. Which I don't have, or an Allen key. Like an Allen key? I don't know if I have one of the right size of that in here. I do have a set of Allen keys pretty close by, but I don't know if I might just abandon you for a second. Grab that Allen key. I don't have the ability or maybe the desire to learn how to properly video edit, so you'd have to live with that gap. Oh! For science, I'm gonna go grab that. So, don't judge the state of the room or the fat guy getting up. Give us a second. Oh, internet. But yeah, okay, yeah. So we got we have a mystery we're solving. So we're going to see if this is seems to be. The distinct possibility could be metric. Ooh, no. We learned something. All right, so this is the worn out. I can't read it. I don't know what size this is. 1/8. It's a 1/8 Allen key. Alrighty. 1/8 Allen key to take these off. And that's the standoffs for our clip. Cool. Take that, Nick Shabazz. No, that would be... It's a joke. Don't kill me, Mr. Shabazz, sir. In my sleep, you sound like a mobster. Yeah, anyway, alright, now we're down to no Ridgelight, just steel liners, full steel. Which is kind of funny that it still has that flex, even with full steel liners. Okay, so let's pop that out and pop that out. All right, so we got the springs off. Let's take that all the way out. Why not? Take this all the way apart. Ooh, got a little bit of junk and stuff. Stop pin. Boom, fully disassembled Maverick. Show you those liners right there. There's 2 holes, and the spring, when it came to me, was in this one that was farther back. I think we're gonna move it to that one where it's tighter. See what it does at least. But yeah, clean overall inside. I don't think there's do a quick perfunctory cleaning. A lot of people I like to take knives apart. It makes me weird, I guess. There's no jimping anywhere on this knife. I don't really think it needs it. Use it for a little bit and find out, but clean all the things out. I'm not as cool as the aforementioned Mr. Shabazz with alcohol prep pads and stuff like that. An old ratty Civivi cloth and inquisitive mind. No, again, 3/8 hex bit for that, for those clips. And this is the what is this, titanium? This appears to all be steel on the bar itself. With they feel pretty stiff. These are a little different shaped Omega springs, seem like. They got a straight, then the curve instead of just a curve. Pretty hard 90. I don't know what that looks like. Hard 90s on springs scare me. I have had too many speed safe knives crack on me. The insides of the Richlight look interesting. I don't know what Richlight normally looks like on the inside. And you kind of see that in the light. And they have a little bit of flex. Not bad though. Not bad though. Okay, 21 minutes. Good night alive. Y'all gotta get to dinner. Clean the grease off of these washers here. Which is pretty thick. The washers overall are pretty thin. They're kind of keyed almost. Washers are pretty thin. They're not like the 940s have thicker washers than sometimes. I mean, the Sebenza washers aren't thick. They're really wide. These do have like the Sebenza-esque holes in them again. They are the same on either side though. And it's all the cleaning that needs to be done. Okay, so everything's clean. I'm going to do what I sometimes do with washers. People will probably tell me this is terrible, or if anybody watches this. But this is an old, worn out, fine grit work sharp stone. This is wore out. But I saw this on like a Chris Reed video, and I don't claim to have any of their type of repertoire. You just hit it real quick, and it goes nice and shiny. And I'm sure there's protective coating I'm knocking off, or something else that I'm destroying. And people might tell me about it if they actually watch the video, or not. It's totally fine. And just hit it really quick. Sometimes if you get like cheap knives, you can tell they're really they're not working well. You can also just open and close your knife a crap ton, and the same thing gets accomplished. But okay. All right, so that's clean, clean, clean. Let's get it back together here. Well, actually, there's a little bit of gunk in there yet. Nothing's crazy Loctited on this American-made Maverick. The highway to the danger zone is open tonight. We're going to start clip side. We're going to put in a liner. Actually, before we go too crazy, we're going to put our liners together with the goes this way, with the lock bar. And we're going to set that in a little tighter tension. So it looks like what that's made for. We could be wrong. It goes in. We'll see what we can do. Ruining warranties one knife at a time. That's what it's all about. If you haven't ruined the warranty on a knife yet, I suggest going for it. Rip that Spyderco apart, and Spyderco isn't too bad about that though. Not that I've had experiences with that or anything. Take your stuff apart, man. Be exploratory. That just popped out on the other side, didn't it? Oh, it's fine. It's through. take the risk. Be the one, I don't know, the reason I'm making this stupid video that will be, you know, forgotten on the internet. Lost to the annals of YouTube. I mean, it's all about just be brave enough to make the mistakes. And record yourself while doing. Alright, we're gonna do something probably well, we need a stop pin. That's what's we're missing up. Never mind. Before we do something dumb, let's remember our stop pin. I do kind of wish they Tactile would have leaned into the stainlessness of the steel of MagnaCut on the Maverick. Made it like a proper, gone the little extra mile maybe, and maybe like LC200N liners, make sure it's all tie hardware. Just, you know, made it a thing. Now, I don't know about moving these Omega springs, if that will affect the life of the spring, or what that will do. I don't think it'll negatively affect anything. It might. We'll get to learn together in this insanely long video. That's okay. I watch long knife videos. Maybe you do too. Not usually by obscure people, but obscure is a kind word for it. Faceless channels. I don't have any noble reason to hide my face, I suppose, other than I'm not brave enough to adjust a camera angle. Get on in there, buddy. I believe in you. Okay. So, there we go. Are those keyed? Are those D-shaped? They are! Lord bless you, Tactile Knife Co. The standoffs are D-shaped like the pivot isn't properly D-shaped. It's got that triumvirate on it, but these little bad boys are D-shaped. Good catch, Tactile. Nicely done. A lot of companies, a lot of times the pivot will be, but then these little standoffs won't, so these will be free spinning. And so you can pop the blade out, but not actually service your knife quite right. Although that does require you to get a couple more things lined up in the reassembly process. But that's okay, I'll take, little details like that. Again, these liners also are fantastically tumbled, no sharp edges. Everything's machined to a high quality overall, but not to a, hopefully the lock rock, there we go, snapped in. Hopefully the lock rock isn't considered a feature. Some people are on YouTube complaining that that's something that Tactile told them. Someone in Tactile customer service said, well, mine does it too, so you should be fine, but I don't know. I would like it to not have it. I don't know. Maybe I'll do a follow-up if this video actually gets like any views. Maybe I'll do a follow-up on my Tactile experience, my Rockwall experience. Rockwall. This is not the Rockwall, this is the Maverick. Ooh, there's a lot more tension on that bar now. I like it. I like my Axis style locks to have a good snap to them, a little harder. I'm not going to put the clip back on yet, just to ensure that I get the little KPL on things. Just to make sure if I do need to move that back, if that's the difference between the action gets way worse. It's like stupid tight, then I can take the coward's way out and put it back to where it was. Leave it to me. See, in the real like reviewer world, it's like I'm gonna leave it in stock, and I mean, in the reviewer world, this is not the reviewer world. It's the Wild West of random folks on the YouTube. Just fine. Information is a wonderful thing to share. Wonderful thing to share. There's a lot of interesting little design features on this knife that I'm really glad to see the extra mile was taken. Lost a scale there. Ooh, the question will be also if the milling inside of the Richlight facilitates for that grody pivot cloth. Facilitates for the different spot in that spring. If it's actually made for that or not, I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. Okay, so we lost a washer. I'm just gonna take this little Allen key and dance these bad boys in here. This would be a great spot for like that titanium tool, which I don't have. It wouldn't hurt me to have. I don't pop quite enough of these guys apart to justify that purchase, but it's all good. Okay, that and this little Allen key thing does just pretty okay for that. I always wondered, you gotta make sure I line this up to where it actually matches the machine, because it does, and if it didn't, then you're kind of losing a large part of the aesthetic reason of this knife. Get that washer readjusted, pull this back some. Oh, this is where it's finagly, and you're hearing this raspy guy. ASMR. Just pop the whole blade out. Why don't you? Why don't you, better bud? Oh, where'd that? Oh, they moved. Crud. This is where people are like, don't take apart axis lock knives. It's hard. Life's about hard things sometimes. Like losing a washer. Are there two there? There's two there. Yeah, there's two there. No, we lost it. Not quite. We're not losing things. We're not losing things except our minds, and I'm talking to myself on a Monday night. Maverick Monday, bro. Hashtags. It's like if you ever watched a Nut and Fancy video, I don't know how many people actually got into knives because of Nut and Fancy. I didn't. His videos have always annoyed me. Now I get to be just like him, my not idol. It's fine. This is normal. Normal people do this. Crud. Lost a washer. Not lost, but it's displaced. This is going to be a 30-minute expose. Anyway, Tactile is, again, the heat that they're getting right now is the Lock Rock. People complain about that on Chris Reeves too, which I don't have near enough experience. I have my 121 you saw earlier. I don't know how I'm going to title this or how I'm going to... People complain about Chris Reeves. People complain about, Spyderco or Benchmade or Cold Steel. There we go. Tactile's new in the game. I'm excited. I'm glad I got this. Again, the waiting list thing. I'm going to drop this blade in so I don't cut myself. Played the blood texts. But I'm glad that this won an award recently for production knife. Was that Blade Show Texas, I think? Yeah, it was. And they had a couple of hundred of these or so on the market. And not a lot of videos. There will be. Probably today, like everyone else who got him. Throw my 2 cents into the knife community. Why not? I've gotten so much out. I've gotten to knives in college. And I just love it. Well, that does come out. If you're wondering, this I'll keep that out for now. Oh, it's a D-shaped pivot, and it only goes in one way. Back to details of the Maverick. I appreciate the fact they took the time for details, though. But I've gotten a lot out of the knife community overall. I can't believe I've been droning on for so long. See, these are the type of things I complain about, so if you ever... I don't know the reason I'm doing this, I guess. I don't know. People are like, follow your dreams. People aren't really like that, but, It's like, you wanna do this, then do it. So we're doing it. Rambly as it is. See, this is where Shabazz would have a wonderful edited click. All right, now we got that knife back. Oh, is that lined up? It is lined up. The spirit of Nick Shabazz is visited. Saint Nick helped us through. That's funny. It's not funny. It's a little depressing. Okay, so that's machining lines lined up. That took entirely too long. All right, so now we grab our pivot screw, which is this T8. Get a little bit of the tight on there. Okay, that's the roll screw. The only thing about all the hardware being the same is it all is the same. Oh, this is going to be a stupid long video, but I'm going to post it anyway. Mostly because I took the time to try to get stuff set up to film it, record it. Well, took the time to get it set up, so it's going to go out into the world to be seen in the search and said, oh, that's too long, I'm not going to do that. If that's all I am, is a footnote of, that's too long, 4 people watch this video because they're bored. They need background sound while they try to do anything else. Validation for their rock wall. Here I am, man. Here I am. Okay, this has a little bit of Loctite on it already. Okay. So we have everything in this standoff, not this back one. We have our pivot in. Ooh, that's way too tight. That's way too tight on the pivot. So we're gonna back you off. Way loose. That's pretty nice. Not way loose, but pretty loose. Pretty loose. I think moving those springs, well, that's not bad. Moving those springs might have been a mistake. I kind of wish my Deca with the original goat scales has the jimping right there on the heel. I kind of wish that there was a little bit of something like that on the Maverick. Just kind of slips in the hand a little bit. It's not bad. I think the up and down got a little bit better with the tighter springs. I could be psyching myself out though. That's a little better than it was. Hitting that Spidey flick, it's not really great. Needs a little bit more lube. We're gonna bolt it back together and call it a day. I'm spending far too much time fiddling with this, but I enjoy fiddling with knives. Hey, you know, don't lose the magic of, you know, fiddling with knives. This is, you know, fiddling with knives, and hopefully I can share it with a couple people. A couple people may watch this video and learn some things. You know, first disassembly. And try to get a hype man title on there or something. I won't do that. Maybe. Disassembly, first impressions. First impressions. There's a lot of great details in the Maverick. It's a lot of just great thinking on this knife, where thought was taken, and you can tell that these are different. You can tell that somebody cared enough to add touches that'll be noticed, and they are noticeable. out of the box could be better. They're a great machine shop. They need to work on being a great knife company. But they're getting there. They are getting there. Hopefully. Knife community needs some more good USA things. The thing that is great about this thing, I find, again, $250 for the Richlight version here. That new James brand, I think it's the Klein, that they're selling for like $350. And it's the same material. It's $100 more, same materials as this. Hollow ground, probably made by Millet. Those, it says James brand, so it's not that popular. I mean, it is, but it isn't. It's a weird thing James brand has going. Get this clip good and tight so it doesn't move on us. Alright, good and snug. Back together. Can't shake the knife open. I didn't test that before. I feel like I could have. Need to work it in some more. Side to side. My hands have up and down. Not drastic, still a little side to side. More up and down than I'd like. Side to side's pretty well gone. Action is too. This is kind of as finicky as a 942. The tie one probably would have been the better choice. This video is entirely too long. Most of it's watching me fiddle to take a knife together and back apart. But the Maverick is a solid, I don't know. It's beautifully made. Beautifully thin blade. Thumb studs feel good. Thumb studs aren't sharp. Nothing's sharp on this knife except the blade itself. If you really squeeze down, you can feel the insides of the Richlight, but they're not sharp edges. It's the fact they're thin and crunch in India. Oh, maybe they can thicken up the liners a little bit so I keep the flex down some. And yeah, a little bit of lock rock's not good. Side to side's good. That's the Rockwall, not the Rockwall, the Maverick. Idiot that I am. Keep playing with it. I might, I probably, I don't know. We'll see if there'll be an update video or not of a proper review. Not a YouTuber, obviously. If I do make an update, it won't be this long. Thanks for watching. God bless.